Okay, so I wanted to make a video on Algebra 2 5.1.1 notes, inverse functions. We learned this on Tuesday. I'm taking this from Shanlek's class, just as a word of, just for context. And this is something new that we're learning, so I wanted to explain it in a way that some people might be able to understand, because I understand that these might be hard for some people. So let's start with the first example, this example right here. So we have f of x equals 3x minus 6. And both of these problems are in the notes under question 4. So we're going to start with question 4a, which is this one. So the question that is being asked is inverse practice. Find the inverse of each function below. And this is, well, the function, and we all know that. And it's not really called anything, but concerning the topic of interest, this is what I like to call a regular function. And I'm going to abbreviate it, like this, a regular function, because that's what it is. It's just f of x. Now, in order to make an inverse function, first what we have to do is do f to the negative 1 of x, because that's how you signify an inverse function. Now, in order to solve this problem, we have to go back to a little something called PEMDAS. Now we'll write it down. So I'm sure that we all know what PEMDAS is. It is the algebraic way to solve problems. You start with parentheses, you go to exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. And this is to be expected with a problem like this. So if I were to use just this part of the expression right here, if I were to use that part of the expression and write 3x minus 6, if I were to replace the x with a number, say 2 minus 6, you would start with the multiplication, and that would be 6 minus 6 then, and the answer is 0. And that's how you would solve that according to PEMDAS. However, when you want to make an inverse function, we have to go in the reverse order of PEMDAS. And this is what I mean. So, what we want to do is go in the reverse order. So, instead of starting with the 3 multiplying the x, we're going to start with the 6 right here. And because it is an inverse function, every sign is going to be made its opposite. So multiplication would be made into division, and addition would be made into subtraction, if that makes sense. So we have this x, and we are going to start with x plus 6, because we're going to go in the reverse order. And now, because the 3 is multiplying the x, and that's what we're going to do next. Because though it is the first step on how you would solve it regularly, we are making it the last step because it is inverse. And in order to make this 3 opposite, we are going to put it under x plus 6. And this would be the correct answer for 4a. You start with x plus 6 over 3. Now, this problem is more complicated. We have p of x equals 2 times x plus 3 in parentheses cubed. Now, the same logic still applies with this problem as with this problem on the left. And we still utilize PEMDAS, just in the reverse order. Now, if I do the same thing like I did with the last one, and now I wanted to just use this expression as an example, and replace x with the variable, like 2 again. And I wrote it like this. According to PEMDAS, you would start with the parentheses, which is the 2 plus 3, go on to the exponent, which would be the cubed in this case, and then go to multiplication. So that would go to 2 times 5 cubed, and then that would be 2 times 125, because that is 5 cubed, and then our answer would be 250. That is how you would solve that problem. But remember, we're going to do the inverse of that. So of course, let's begin with p to the negative 1 of x equals. And now, we're going to do what we would do last first. So, how we're going to do this is we would do this last. This 2 would come last. And because this 2 is multiplying the x, we're going to have to do x divided by 2. X divided by 2. And then we just go in reverse again. So what we would do next then is work with this exponent. And this is a cubed exponent. This is to the power of 3. So in order to reverse that, we're going to have to do a cube root, which looks like this. And put that over it because that's how you would write that. And then what we do is we have this 3. And this 3 is the final part. And because it is a positive 3, we are going to make this 3 negative, and this would be the answer. This would be the inverse function for p of x equals 2 times x plus 3 cubed. Now, in Shanlek's class, we learned about, on Tuesday, we learned about function machines, but, we don't got to worry about that. That's silly. This is how you would solve it. So I hope that makes sense, and that's it.